Imagine in the center of a room, God, God's presence, which means in the center of that room is love, peace, joy, and abundance. There's the center of a room. It's God. And then the light that center emanates, that fills the room, is called the Christ, or God's children, God's creations. That would be you and me. So that's kind of cool. We're part of this room. This room is called heaven. And so God at the center, we're the light emanating, and it fills the room. There's nothing outside the room, though, because some people go, wait, what's outside the room? Yeah, that's what got us into this mess called life, which is really death. You know, people think they have lives. Everybody's the walking dead on this planet, you know. So, but don't get me started. I'm going to try to, there is nothing outside that room. You could say it's only darkness, it's only illusion, but understand there isn't anything outside the room, meaning what's outside the room? Nothing. That's all. Just call it nothing. So that center is God, and the light that's emanating is Christ consciousness, Christ, the children of God. That thing, that light that emanates, that's what, for example, Jesus remembered himself to be. That's all. You know, it's like, I remembered that I'm the Christ. And we're all really still in that light of God. We're just dreaming that we're outside. And because we're dreaming that we're outside in the darkness, we long for relationship and money and accomplishment to make us feel better about living in the darkness. This is why A Course in Miracles says, when you shift from living out there to the room again, you're actually not sacrificing a life. Because we used to think that getting on the spiritual path meant we sacrifice our lives for the Lord. You know? And God's going, really? You think about what you gave up. You gave up nothing for everything. So it's kind of nice. This thing out here, this room is called the way of God. That's why Lao Tzu called it the way, the God. It's Tao. So in there, you don't say God is a person and so on. It's just the way, the consciousness of God. So the way of the Tao, the consciousness of God, heaven, these are all synonymous. And so that's what we've got in reality. And then outside darkness is just nothing. It's an illusion. It's nothing. But the moment we thought we left home and went out into the world, the Divine Mother aspect of God said, you know, since they're thinking that they're outside, I probably should put some doors on the place. In case they ever want to come home. So she put some doors and windows, you know, on the place. Plenty of doors if possible, you know, infinite number of doors we could say, but doors. Nice. So if we want to, we can knock on the door, it shall be open, right? We can, Spirit's always knocking on that side of the door, and all we have to do is walk through. But that's what this whole thing called the spiritual journey seems to be. There's all these doors, windows too you could add. But the problem is in those doorways and windowways, there's glass, blinds, doors in the way that sort of could be seen as ways to keep people from coming in. So it's interesting to me. What spirituality is and what religion is something related to those doors, okay? The doorway doesn't mean there has to be a door. Take the doorway out, and that's what we're doing here. I am not, and we are not, the Tao itself. The best we can be when we're on planet Earth is a doorway for each other. I don't want to be a door that's closed. I want to be an open doorway. So the best teachers are those that are doorways, not doors. Religions tend to be doors. And they call you, the good news is that if they're really at their highest, then they allow the sound of what's happening in the room to leak through. And it brings us to the doorway, but it should be so that we go, what's in there? It sounds so good, I want to go in. That would be a healthier form of religion. The unhealthy forms of religion are the ones that say, come to the doorway, kneel, and begin praising us, worshiping the door. So to me, you know, and then the teachers are the doorknobs, you know. It just came out that way. But, you know, the door knockers and the door knobs, you know. I guess the male teachers are the doorknobs and the others are the knockers or the, you know. But Wait, do that again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whoa! So ignore the knockers and knobs, and the teachers, the males and females that claim they know something, that act like ornamentation, they're just ornaments on the door. Stop. What's on the other side? Forget the frills. Forget how nice we look, how much money we make as teachers and religions and the dressings. At the end of the day, man, let's not settle. I want to know what's on the other side of that door. I hear it. There's a celebration. Oh, we can't celebrate yet because you're a sinner. See, that's somebody that says kneel and worship the door. And it's a dirty door and it's a messed up door. Go to a different door. And, again, don't get caught up in the fixtures, nor the door itself. There's something on the other side. So any teacher that says go and connect with what's in the room becomes not a door, but a doorway. But we're still doorways, not the way. Doorways. Archangel Michael describes himself as a guardian of the way, not the way. The ancient Druids referred to the spiritual path as being, they called themselves, we're the guardians of the way. That's all. The way is Christ, they said, even before Jesus was born. They knew someone was coming that was going to remember complete Christ consciousness. So they said, we're the guardians of the way. We're preparing. And the Essenes were saying the same thing. The word Essene means expectant ones. So these people that were the masters of the time, they all knew, we're just holding space. And someone's coming. Bless you. Someone's coming that is going to represent what's on the other side of the door, finally. Which means the doors represent superstition and limitation and so on and so on. So it's like done. And so in closing, let me just say that even though we can gain, like there's a light on the other side, there's a feeling, there's a love, a presence on the other side, keep it in perspective. Remember the difference between religions, teachers, ornamentations. The ones that make themselves shine are just shinier ornaments. That's even something I'd be even more weary of. It's already, be suspicious of a door. Once it starts having shimmering little things on it that distracts you, you're going one step even further away. So I want to know what gets me in the room. I want to know what introduces me to the consciousness that is the room. God, Christ consciousness. That's what I'm about. That's what we're about at Unity of Sedona because we chose to create that. So folks that watch and listen and learn, this isn't just another thing. It really isn't. And now there may be others out there, but they're not that plentiful yet. But when you hear of a teacher that talks about what's in the room, even a guru is saying, aren't I a wonderful door? And somebody goes, you really are. You're a door that can fast. I'm impressed. Don't get caught up in the ornaments or the doors. Can you tell me about God itself? How to get me into a relationship with the consciousness of God? Oh, you don't need that. You come to me. Oh, another door or a doorknob. No thanks. Just move to a different door. But I want to say that with all the work we do, the spiritual path, all the work we do, please comfort yourself in this. All the work you do, doorways, doors, open doors, the way of God, all the stuff we do, we're still in a three-dimensional body. And this is very important. We're in a three-dimensional body, so you're going to do this amazing multi-dimensional work if you're lucky. Some are going to be just dense, door type of people, religious at best. Some just even farther than that. But it's like, because some just try to relax and just deal with the darkness and not even go to the door for anything. But going to the door is better than nothing. So I see a place for that. But try to remember this, that no matter whatever amount of work you do, at the end, you're not always going to see the results because you're in what's defined as a world of limitation. You're in a third-dimensional limited reality. So because you don't always see the perks, the benefits, the outcomes, do not be disheartened because that's what Jesus meant by there's treasure in heaven. He didn't just mean you're not allowed to have good things happen. He was saying in a third-dimensional reality, you won't be able to see it all. So whatever amount of work you've done, please remember, it's true. It has already happened. There is already a miracle. You already have shifted. You already have a quantum leap in consciousness. Like you may have saved in one lifetime doing your work. You could save dozens of lifetimes because you've done forgiveness work. Doesn't look like it. I still have a boss that's kind of rude. I still have a partner, that is my boss. It all ties and you go, I don't see much change. You will not always see change with eyes that can't see change. So have faith. I'm not just giving you a kind of a superstitious, statement of some kind. I'm meaning this. It's not just like some platitude of some kind. It's true. Remember, the work I'm doing is having an effect. I may not even see it till I get to the other side. Well, why not? Well, you will get some of it, but it's nothing in comparison. Jesus even went so far as to say, and if you were to get the benefits, if they were to come to you, he says you won't get them in heaven then. It's a weird statement. But what he's saying is, if all you want is the material manifestation, it's done. Now, would you like to, if you could push a button and say, I want the outcome of my soul growth, my spiritual work, I want it right now, and you pushed a button and couldn't have it on the higher dimensions, would you push the button? And a lot of us would say, yes, please. Others would say, no. Most of my life I have said no. Because I knew there's, on the other side, what you think is a gift here is at least 1,000 times that. That doesn't mean you can't have something here. But don't only focus on that and don't insist on the changes here. Whatever work you have done, this was downloading to me last night, and it was just like, it's hard to even put into words what this consciousness is trying to say to us. Don't fixate on the external thing. Treasure in heaven. But don't take that to mean that you can't have benefits and perks. So I say let's do both. Let's have a change in our life. Let's get better relationships. Let's increase our prosperity. Let's have more healing. But when you don't see it, don't throw too much of a tantrum. Because it's here. It can't not be here. I just can't see it. Oh, okay. That's called acceptance. I guess my eyes will not see it today. A great teacher, Martin Luther King Jr., told his friends, I may not enter the promised land with you. It's sort of along the same line. My work is great, he was saying. This can make a difference in racism and spirituality and connection with God and so on. But sadly, I may not be able to cross over into the promised land with you folks in this particular body. Does anybody in this room or watching online think that soul didn't get something great out of what he did? It's impossible. It's impossible. So you gain in consciousness sometimes what you do not get in body. That's all. Thanks for listening. All right.